My guest this week is Davron Karimov, a 20-year-old MCA advanced loans broker. That's merchant cash advance loans broker who went from $10,000 in debt to collecting a $200,000 a year in commissions. Collecting $200,000 in commissions. It took him less than 3 years, and Karimov shared his journey on his personal, sometimes chaotic, yet always informative YouTube channel, which I'll leave the link in the show description. The Staten Island native said he first started at a Long Island City shop and quickly made some early deals, eventually leaving to start his own firm, Thunder Hunt, and recently opened an office in Miami. That's cool. I haven't been to Miami yet. I'm trying to get to Miami. It's an awesome place to work. But do the YouTube videos help him make those deals? Of course they do. And Karimov says he is not only getting deals through his video platform, but he also gets questions from other MCA brokers who reach out to him. So how you doing today? If things going well in Miami, how's the weather? How's the weather in Miami, Davron?
Beautiful. I mean, 70s all year round. It's only paradise.
I bet, man. I'm looking at the view behind you. It looks awesome. Just looking at the sky, the little bit that I can see, it looks awesome, man. So what made you want to become a merchant cash advance loans broker?
Yeah, so I got into the industry by accident when I was, 18, 19 years old. The next logical step for me after coming out of high school was to go to college. And so I got accepted, and, I could probably take like 10 minutes of one class before I start to get bored. So I left, but I didn't know that I would still get charged for the classes that were canceled. So that was a pretty big bill that I had to come up with, within a span of like 1 to 2 months. I had to find a way to make 10 grand real quick. Doing what I've always done. I didn't see it. So I just had to find a job, and I found a job, luckily, in commercial finance.
So most kids coming out of high school don't go, oh, I'm going to be a loan officer, a loan broker. Had you heard of it before? Have you ever heard of the term, or is it in your family? How did you go, this is what I want to do?
I mean, I've had sales jobs in the past, but I never really dealing with merchants and business owners. But, they say something about this industry. It's like, once you get in, you can never leave. It's promising. It's very rewarding. And, you're dealing with business owners. You're dealing with people that are people just like yourself. So I think it's pretty cool. And, it's just so fun because there's always new things that we're coming out with, new products, and just ways to get creative with the money. But at the end of the day, everybody needs money. So
you got that right, man.
It's not really a hard sell. It's pretty easy product to sell. So
what exactly is a merchant cash? I mean, it's kind of in the name, but I really want to know, how do you help businesses, and why would they need a MCA or merchant cash advance?
Let me explain. My favorite type of clients are people that are always purchasing inventory, but at the end of the month, they could run a little bit low on cash, payroll, rent, things like that come up. And then they don't have any cash at the end of the month. They could have like $1,000 left in their bank account, let's just say. And but those people know that they're going to get more money coming in from their sales and their receivables. So whether that's 30, 60, 90 days out, they know they're going to get paid. So it's just like a bridge, you could call it. Merchant cash advance, though, what it is it's not a loan. we're purchasing future receivables. So we can purchase a percentage of whatever the guy is bringing in.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a loan, but it's more so a simple cash advance. So you know that at the end, like I say, to put it in simple terms, because most people are working for someone, and just say you know that I'm going to get paid on Friday, but my bank account is low on Wednesday. So I reach out for that cash advance from a company. They advance it to me. And then once I'm paid on Friday, then I pay you guys back probably with additional fee.
Yeah, sort of like that. Except we're really basing on what the guy brings in a month. So like if someone's bringing in like $50,000 a month, you know, if we took 10% of that, and that could be their debt servicing. So now they're paying us $5,000 a month in exchange for $50,000 funding.
Got it. Okay. So you don't have to pay their entire amount at the end of the month, but it has to be a percentage of what you agreed upon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's say I'm an entrepreneur and I am trying to get my business off the ground because it's a startup, and yeah, I'm bringing in money. I'm getting some revenue, and I need maybe some an advance to sort of, hey, I mean, I am trying to maybe put my name out there, marketing, or there may be some inventory that I need to purchase. And so I reach out to you guys for that additional funds, and set up some kind of agreement on how I'm going to pay that back. Did that sort of fit in terms of what you guys do?
Yeah. The people ask me a lot what the rates and terms are, mm-hmm. But you know, at the end of the day, it has to make sense for both parties, and mm-hmm. So we don't do deals that don't make sense.
Yeah, that sounds like a bank. It sounds like somebody you're gonna borrow money from. I mean, I totally get that. If you can't pay the money back, or I don't think you can, then I can't help you. I definitely hear sometimes people say that banks are organizations that offer advances. They basically if they want to know, in other words, it's like, if I know you need it, then probably I don't want to give it to you. I want to give it to someone probably that looks like they don't need it.
Exactly. You can never borrow a dollar that you can't prove you don't need from the bank.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say, it's always about taking money and someone else's money and making more, and I think that's what shows that you're business savvy. If you can take $1 and turn it into $5, if someone gives you 10 grand and you can turn 10 grand into 30,000, I think that shows that you have something that's profitable. You have something that people want to buy. But you had to have something in order to make more money off of. If you can take that 10,000 and you really have services and products that people want, then you can turn that 10,000 into 30,000. No problem.
Well, the SBA is giving out trillions of dollars right now, so I guess we'll see what these entrepreneurs do within the next 10 years.
Yeah. So how has COVID? How has that affected your business and also the clients that you have?
Oh man, I mean, if we're talking about the SBA, I mean, they're our biggest competition right now. A lot of times people would get these $200,000-$300,000 loans in the SBA, and then they don't need our money anymore, right? Mm-hmm. But other than that, it almost. And
when you say SBA, you mean the Small Business Association, right?
Yeah, Small Business Administration.
Okay, administration. Okay. And how is that competition to you? How does SBA, that federal? I think it's a federal agency. How does they pose a threat to you, to your company?
I mean, they probably underwrite a lot different than how we do it. I think they base it on an annual revenue. Mm-hmm. So like if you could get probably like 1 to 2 times your annual revenue, which that's just insane. There's no way we can offer that much. We can't offer you, what you make in a year. But yeah, I mean, once they get that $250,000, $500,000, it's going to take them time to go through that before they start looking for more investors. But yeah, I mean, 2020 almost wiped us out. Because at that time, it was just everybody was getting declined because nobody had receivables coming in, right? Everything was getting closed down.
Right.
So with a few businesses that were open, that were, like a restaurant or something like that was able to get funded. But yeah, what it did for us, and what I really liked at it coming out of 2020 is it took out a lot of the bad funders that shouldn't have been in business.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine, man. It shut a lot of business down, bad business down. I mean, good business too, but definitely bad business.
Yeah, so we went from having a lender list of like probably like 50, and then we probably decreased it, by 20 to 25% of what it used to be. People that we're tight with.
Mm-hmm. So if I was to come to you and say, hey, I need to utilize your service, what would be the least I could borrow and the most that I could borrow?
So we're funding anywhere from, a couple thousand, couple G's to 2 million. Wow.
That's awesome, man. I could use $2 million. That sounds great. So if I'm coming to you and say I'm approved for $2 million, and what the expectation would be, the expectation for me to have that $2 million paid back and whatever fees that are applicable to that would be like 1 year or would be 5 years. How long would it take for me to pay back whatever amount of money that I am requesting or I'm approved for?
5 years? What, are you trying to have another baby?
Or a family?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I usually say. But no, I mean, most of our fundings are probably for a couple of months. Sometimes we go out to 18 months, 24 months on a really, really good file. But yeah, typically a couple months.
Okay. And so, I mean, how do you guys check credit worthiness and to say this is a good company to help or support?
So we look at a couple of things. We look at the strength of the business, how much you're bringing in versus how much cash is left at the end of the month, at the end of the day. If you're constantly going negative in your account, that's not really a good sign. It kind of shows that you don't know how to run your business. Other than that, I mean, credit score, your personal credit score, the social security number tells your life story. Amount of debt servicing they have. If all their money is going towards other funding companies, that's not good either.
Right.
Because there's no room for us. And the industry is pretty important too. Because like for example, a trucking company, if they have 2 trucks and then one of them breaks down, that's half the sales for the month.
Got it. So to me, it's like you definitely want to do a good look, not just into their financial stability, but also, how well they're working. What attributes, what resources do you have, and how those being handled as well, because like you said, you might have a great credit history, but your trucks don't work, or you got a bad retention. Your customer, your employees are not happy. So that could definitely impact them. In the future, in the short future. So I definitely, it's awesome that you guys take the time. So how do you guys say there is a company out there, and they look good on the books, but they do have some problems internal? How do you guys, are able to use your tools to find that out?
Internal, as far as,
maybe they are a trucking company, and their trucks are breaking down constantly, where they're not want to be able to make their deliveries in a timely fashion. And, it's not something that you easily can see necessarily looking at a credit history, but it's something that, is happening. How do you guys detect that?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, it's easy. I mean, we look at the bank statements. So the bank statements are going to show you how much that you're depositing. We typically ask for three months bank statements.
Okay. So basically what you were looking for is, maybe last year or 2 years ago, or however many years on your credit history, it looks good. But in the last 3-6 months, there's been some problems. We can see that just checking out your bank statements.
Yeah. I mean, if we see that, just a bunch of Zelle transfers, we might not be that aggressive, or if he's spending money at the casino.
Yeah. I mean, Miami is a hot place. I can imagine how you can go there and have a good time, and forget about what you probably be doing, So what is business? If you compare when you was in New York doing business, what is the differences you've noticed doing that business in Miami?
The difference is definitely there's a more laid back attitude here. I'm finding it hard to find talent, the right talent right now. But other than that, I mean, nobody really knows what we do around here, because like if in New York, there's probably like a dozen shops for every 5 square miles in New York City alone. But here there's not that much competition. There's not that many funding companies down here. So in result, we don't get a lot of experienced people, just people that are fresh meat.
So at this particular point, are you guys trying to teach companies about your services? Are you trying to because I'm assuming that the reasons why, I mean, I can see the point. I mean, it's a small market down here in Miami. So you're going down to this place where there's a small market where people are not there's not a lot of competition there in Miami. But at the same token, people have not heard of a MCA type of company. So there has to be some level of educating companies that, hey, we're here and this is the services that we provide.
Oh yeah, so, we do our training in-house.
Okay, so do you reach out to companies saying, hey, I think this is a good company that could probably benefit from our services. Let's reach out to them and see if they are a good fit. How do you find those consumers or those companies that could possibly be a good fit?
This little device here, the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we make a lot of phone calls out of this office.
Okay. Yeah. And I think anytime that you reach a company and say, hey, we got some money for you, they're going to be interested in finding out, hey, how can I get this money? Now, the question is, are they, are credit worthy, or are they able to take advantage of those services based on, the way the company is set up and the experience that they're having at that particular time. And also you said earlier about the SBA that, companies right now are benefiting from, the PPP loans and different stipends or subsidies that the government is offering. So like, why should I reach out to you and pay your fees when I go to the SBA? And I'm quite sure their fees are a lot less. So I'm sure that's, as you said earlier, a lot of competition.
Yeah,
very
I mean, the biggest difference between us and the SBA is that we get it done much sooner. We could get you funded the same day. Whereas the SBA, they won't even give you a time frame on how long it's going to take to process your loan, because they're the government. They can't make those kind of promises, when they're going to get around to it. But we get people funded the same day, and you don't have to wait for a bank or anybody. It's hard money, real cash, non-refundable, wired to you today.
Wow. Okay. Oh, cool. Well, I know people would love to hear that, and I mean, um, like you said, government sometimes doesn't move it's always not very efficient. I'll put it that way. Not very efficient all the time. So therefore, by the time the government gets to you, that opportunity has passed that you're trying to, get the advance for. So I definitely get that. So how do people reach out to you? Say there's a business out there, they're in need of your cash advance services. How would they reach out and find you?
Yeah, I mean, they could just go to the website. It's funderhunt.co, funderhunt.co, not .com, just .co. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, all the contact information is there, but you could literally just put in your application. You don't even have to talk to anybody, and we'll be in contact with you.
Wow. So you can actually go to the website, put your information in online, and 5-10 minutes of just putting your information in, and then someone will get back to you the same day.
Yeah. I'll say this though, because we mentioned startups, we don't really fund startups. It's more existing businesses that are doing like $5,000 a month and up in revenue per month.
Okay. So there are those. You do have a certain limit that you have to be making a month before you guys will do business with you. But I'm sure that's probably when you're filling out that application online, I'm sure those questions will be there that, what are your, what are those amounts that your revenue and profits are monthly?
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be something good about the file, right? That, this is what a mentor was telling me, is that it's, it comes down to, is it credit above 700, or does he have really good bank statements? One of the two.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, I'll leave your information in the show description, how to get in contact with you. And yeah, man, I think what you're doing is awesome. I think, businesses need, I would love a cash advance if I'm having that situation where I feel like, I can take this money and, flip it, make more of it and get that back to you. I just think that, what is, for one last question. So what would be a good example of someone, what they're experiencing, where they would come to you and say, hey, I need a cash advance for my company?
Hiring employees, for me, that, I said it before, that's one of the biggest challenges for me right now. But, if I want to hire somebody and I know that person's going to make me an extra $50,000, $50,000 a month, because of whatever his expertise or whatever, mm-hmm. That you could use our cash to hire that person. You could use it to make payroll. You could use it to buy inventory, or just straight up working capital. I mean, or equipment. Equipment is a big one too. The people that take our cash, they typically need it right away. Mm-hmm. So if someone's running low, we'll get it done. We'll just come and apply.
Oh, cool. You'll get it done. I like that, so I'm, just very impressed with you. So I'm just amazed that, that you guys are out here doing this. And like you said earlier, hey, once you're in this business and you're doing it, then, you don't want to leave it. So it definitely sounds like something that is a very satisfying career for you to say that. So definitely impressed, and I wish all the luck to you, man. And wish you the best and much more success as you move forward. And F those SBA loans. Okay, man. I'm excited for you.
I really, really appreciate all the kind words. Thank you. I want to see you get to 100 episodes.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm trying to get there, man. I'm trying to get there. I'm busting my butt. My birthday was yesterday. I'm 44 now. Yes, and I'm just trying to be consistent about it. I'm excited. I want to get paid from running my mouth. That's what I want to get paid for. And so one thing about this podcast game is being consistent. That's what people want to see. They want to see that you got a lot of videos out there, a lot of content, and so yeah, I want to keep it up, man. So I definitely want to have you back in the future so I can get a update on where you are and what's going on as you progress in your career, because you got such a bright, it's at 22. That's where you at 22, man. I can only imagine where you're going to be in a few years, man. It's pretty awesome. I'm deeply impressed.
Appreciate it, and happy birthday, and you look younger.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to hang on to it, brother. I'm trying to hang on, But have a good evening, and I'll be in contact with you.
All right, later.
Peace. All right, later. Okay, take care. So thanks for joining us this week, and I appreciate you staying to the end. You can join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, you can stay in contact with me by emailing DJ at djcareercoach.com. Again, that's DJ at djcareercoach.com. And I'll leave my links to my social media down in the show descriptions, and also any other links to get a hold of our guest. And just be sure to always remember, subscribe, like, follow, comment, because your comments and your opinions are important to me. So please do that. And until next week, bye-bye.